Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Super Subs Podcast. Tarisha Narf. This is Champions League edition. The tournament has started officially, finished the first match week. Some crazy games, and man, gotta love the new format because we see just some amazing games, some amazing script writing. We got De Bruyne's return, unfortunately, for a few minutes,
Lame.
not long enough.
Antonio Conte does not play with script writing.
Yeah, he apologized afterwards for not for hooking De Bruyne so quick. But so today's episode will kind of cover the big ones, big games from this week, the entertaining ones, and then we'll make our top eight predictions. So the way this works, there's um, 32 teams, and the first eight teams will automatically qualify to the round of 16. And then places 9 through 25, those teams will play a head-to-head matchup. So 9 plays 25, 10 plays 24, so forth. And the winner of those will move on. So eight teams will kind of advance from those to the round of 16. From there, bracket style, two-legged. Um, so we'll see. We'll kind of predict who we think will be the automatic qualifiers as well. So, with that being said, we'll start with the actual games that happened. The first one we'll knock out. It was probably the most entertaining ones. Uh, Arguably one of the most ones entertaining. Juve Dortmund
You
four
think it
four.
you think it tops their domestic game versus Inter?
Yeah, I think so.
Crazy
Uh,
back to back just thrillers from Juve.
oh yeah. And again, it's just kind of the first half was really quiet actually. Not much happened the first half, but all the action happened that second half. Um, Adeyemi, he had a really good game. He opened the score sheet. Uh, he also had an assist. Um, but Yildiz, he also scored an absolute beauty of a goal, very Del Piero-esque, where it was like kind of curving over the keeper. And then Vlahovic was ultimately that super sub we talked about last episode, where he got multiple goals. Um, Dortmund, uh, it was kind of back and forth, goal for goal, band for band. And then it seemed like Dortmund might have cleaned it up with uh, 86th minute getting the pen. They were up 4-2, but then Juve, Vlahovic scored in stoppage time, 94th minute, 96th minute. That man, Lloyd Kelly, gets the equalizer, 4-4.
Who was at fault for the handball too? So,
Yeah, made up for it.
and that handball was, I don't know, that was slightly questionable. Um, it looked accidental from my point of view. Uh, Also, just to add in some more crazy script writing from this game is just Yildiz and Adeyemi. I saw there's a story that they went to the same school. Adeyemi, obviously, like a few years older, but they were really good friends at school. And apparently, Adeyemi was like Yildiz's mentor. And then also, the game ended 4-4, like you mentioned. And the two managers of the team, Tudor for Juventus and Niko Kovac for Dortmund, 25 years ago, they played a match where it's Hamburg versus Juve. Kovac played for Hamburg. Tudor played for Juve, and that game ended 4-4, and they both scored in that game as well.
Dude, that's insane storytelling.
Hmm.
But for Juve, this was one of their like hardest games. Really, they have Madrid left, but other than that, they should be getting wins from their other fixtures. So solid for them to just at least grab a point from this one.
I thought it was slightly concerning, though, just how vulnerable they are at the back, um, especially with the Dortmund team. Yeah, it's one of their tougher ones in the group, but still, Dortmund just not. like up to shouldn't be up to that level of tying them.
I think a lot of times with these types of games too, it's you kind of play down to
Mm.
your opponents, not down, but like Dortmund, they're just a free-flowing open, and they've always kind of played like that style. And I think Juve just kind of fell into that type of trap. But yeah, I mean, their back line though, like I do like Bremer a lot. Um, I think he's good, but other than that, uh, I think Gatti, he didn't play, but he's been kind of disappointing for Juve since he's made that move. But other than that, they don't, their other defenders aren't great.
Cambiasso, I like, but he's
Yeah.
he's kind of had his struggling year to his standards, I'd say. But I still like. I think there's a player in there.
Yeah, but like they're true like backs, like they typically play that like the wing back roles, and Cambiaso's kind of forward the whole time.
Hmm.
Whereas like their three center backs, they just other than Bremer, like the other guys just yeah, don't
True.
look great.
And I will say also, I think Juve, a player that is important that they were missing, I think because he was injured, was the player that they made a permanent deal, that Conceição kid.
Mm.
I think he would have added more impact for them as well. I mean, it's already a crazy game, but uh, like them still able to provide like a four-goal thriller without him,
Hmm.
pretty good signs attacking wise.
And then that first day, Arsenal also got a dub against Athletic Club. Um, Real Madrid snuck a 2-1 win over Marseille.
Marseille boys.
Finally back in the Champions League after what, a decade or so?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Marseille, I think the first half looked kind of shaky, but second half really played with Madrid
Mhm.
on their level. And a player that stuck out was Weah. He was looking crazy and like it made me question like why was he being used as like a right back at Juve?
Hmm.
That's terrible.
Oh, also in the Arsenal game, that was a crazy
Yeah.
substitution game. Charsard and Martinelli coming as subs, and they both assisted each other and scored. So wild.
And then Wednesday we can touch on the Liverpool Atletico game first.
Oof.
Um, 3-2 to Liverpool. And again, Liverpool grabbed it very late. Um, some of the things that like it reminds me of is them and Madrid. Madrid because I feel like they've gotten lucky at times this year to barely come away with a win when they
Mhm.
haven't played well, but like Liverpool too. Like they don't look convincing and grab a win at the very end. It's like you know that one meme from Breaking Bad. He's like, he can't keep getting away with this. It's
Yeah.
like what I feel like with Liverpool, but like
This is like the Leverkusen from like 2 years ago when they won the
yeah.
like Stegen last minute winners.
But also it's like I remember at the beginning of the year we talked about how Liverpool might have that like energy on their side with Diogo Jota. It's like literally they're getting these winners from like at the
Oh
end
yeah.
out of nowhere. It's like, yo, this is kind of freaky because they've never been a team like that.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Um, but like we talked about in the last episode in the Prem roundup, I think this was the first game Salah looked really good.
Hmm.
He was constantly looking like a threat, like he could have scored.
Yeah, I think they does based on the first 25, 30 minutes, they
Hmm.
deserve to win based on that. But it's kind of concerning with Slot that how they just kind of backed off and just let Atletico gain momentum
Yeah.
in that half. Uh, and ultimately, like Lorente got the goal right before going into halftime. And I think that's
Mhm.
just like that changes momentum. Even though they dominated the second half too, it's like
Yeah.
2-1 Atletico is always kind of in there still.
Hmm. What'd you make of Isak's Liverpool debut?
I thought he looked decent. He looked pretty sharp, but his finishing looked a little off at times, but I think he looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, I say as a game kind of went on that first half, he kind of grew into it.
Hmm
Link up play was like looking pretty good later on.
Yeah, I think this was one of, like you said, Salah woke up, like his season got started now, and Wirtz I think looked better too in this game.
Yeah, definitely than how he's looked during the Premier League for sure. Yeah.
And then, of course, Diego Simeone is kind of in the middle of it all,
Oh,
out
he got sent
there
off. Yeah. It's kind
arguing with a
of
fan.
unfortunate sending off, but
Yeah, the fan called him what he said, like a Argentinian
Arteta,
Arteta.
I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying something like that in the press conference.
Mm. Yeah, he's getting rattled by the fan.
Yeah,
Not
that
like
fan.
unlike him usually.
Yeah, that fan was. Apparently, he's been banned from Liverpool games for like 5 years, but
Huh.
he was back there.
Jeez.
Made like some comments to another coach or manager player.
Yeah, and he was gesturing like that the fan gave him the middle finger also, so I was like, oh, this is chaotic.
Yeah. And then the other game that I had kind of focused on was Chelsea versus Bayern, um, where I think Bayern deservingly won the game. They really scare me. This was one where Kukurea, I was excited for that battle, but Elise was absolutely cooking. Um,
Mhm.
and one game where Kukurea has actually looked uh, kind of shook, but again, I think we caused a lot of our issues. Gusto losing the ball in poor positions. Caicedo looked like he looked off this game, um, but we just couldn't get past that Bayern press, which was crazy.
hmm Yeah, I thought Bayern could have. I know like one or two goals, you guys kind of caused your own issues again, like you mentioned, but I thought Bayern could have grabbed like another goal or two. Um, they look pretty scary from all the games that like saw and the highlights I've seen. Like
Hmm
they definitely look the most threatening. I also like how they put. He's not natural right back, but Conrad Leimer. He kind of got the job done there, and he's pretty good at kind of inverting because he is a natural midfielder. And then kind of putting Kimmich at his strongest position.
hmm In Bayern, their press, like I don't know, it reminds me of Hansi Flick a little. His blueprints on this team with like the high press, but I think they're much more like organized when they do it, and they're not as risky as when Bayern do it, I guess.
Yeah, Vincent Company surprised me. Uh, yeah, I guess it is Burnley tax, but I didn't know if he'd be like that elite type manager, and he's looked pretty good as Bayern manager so far.
And he's doing it with like even this transfer window wasn't great for Bayern. If you really think about it, like they didn't get all the top guys that he wanted or like
hmm
kept asking for.
That's true. Luis Diaz, though, you think? I think he is still overpriced for what they paid.
Yeah.
Like, he's still a pretty good fit.
Yeah. And I like how they put Serge Gnabry kind of in the 10 role now.
I
He's
won't
kind
be
of
there
he's
for long though.
Yeah,
Once my boy Jamal returns.
I feel like you got to ride with Serge for a little though, even with
Yeah.
Musiala. It's got to ease him into it.
hmm Oh yeah. And we saw Nicholas Jackson get like literally just a minute.
Yeah, absolutely taken out by Santos too.
Jeez.
But yeah, I think Elise was definitely the best player, but on our side too, it was band for band. Cole Palmer looked really good.
hmm
Had a second but called back, but it was like Elise. This was I don't know, like just a vintage game of like back in the day, you just like give it to your best player, they cook.
Yeah, yeah.
It was kind of like that, like let Elise cook and let Cole Palmer cook was like
hmm
it was really enjoyable game to watch.
Oh yeah. I will say though, I think obviously you want to get off to a good start, but I don't think Chelsea should be too worried just 'cause I think this was like going to be the hardest matchup you guys had, this Bayern and Barcelona.
Hmm
Um, So yeah, it's a loss, but I think it's like one that you guys were gonna drop is gonna be this and Barca ones.
Yeah. And then other games that were entertaining, I guess, if you have time to watch is Slavia Prague, Bodo Glimt. And if you can watch it in uh
I saw Bodo Glint in the Europa last year. I don't even
you got
know.
to watch it in the Norwegian commentary though when they scored the
Uh-huh.
equalizer, it was insane.
Was it at do you know which team was home by any chance?
Slavia Prague was.
Oh, okay. Because apparently Bodo Glint, their stadium's like crazy. They
Oh
got like
yeah.
mountains everywhere, right, surrounding their stadium.
Yeah, you saw it in the Europa League too against like Tottenham. Like it's
Hmm.
loud too.
Yeah.
Tough place to play. Um, and then moving on to Thursday, the third game week, we had uh, City beat Napoli with Kevin De Bruyne's return. But unfortunately, um, he was hooked within 30 minutes because of a red card. Um, and that red card kind of changed things. Uh, City were kind of on the front foot, but not too exciting. City were just kind of trying to unlock Napoli the whole time. They were
Hmm.
parking the bus. And then the other game was Newcastle versus Barca. Rashford, 2 goals. Um, I He had 2 really good goals, but watch the game back. I didn't think he looked that good aside from the goals.
Hmm.
Um, I think he was kind of struggling before that first goal, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's the first 5 minutes of the first half he looked really good and then was kind of quiet. And then after the goal he kind of woke up a bit. I say he looked a bit better than Rafinha though, but I
Yeah.
think Rafinha does prefer that same like left wing.
Yeah, and honestly, I felt bad for Newcastle. I thought they looked pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, and they missed a lot of chances, but I think also uh Barca, their keeper, dude,
Transfer
he's
the season?
maybe remember that was a player I was saying you guys should have gone after,
Yeah, I just didn't know much about him
but he's
playing for
looking,
Espanyol.
yeah, he looks elite
Hmm.
for Barca, and he's kept them in the games. Like, who was it that had like literally a point blank shot and
Yeah, that
he
was the long across to Gordon. I mean
Gor
to Barnes.
yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was a crazy run by Longa because Bruno was trying to play and the guy was offsides and like so Longa just like burst through and got. I was like, dang, speedster. But yeah, that was a crazy save.
Yeah, I'm confused why Trippier's been starting for Newcastle though, because he was getting cooked by Rashford. Like when Rashford got his goal and
Hmm.
got into the game, he was getting.
Skinned too. Yeah, maybe Lewis Hall was out. I don't know.
Yeah, he was on the bench but never came off, and even
Hmm.
in the Premier League, like he's been on the bench. So
Yeah, strange. Yeah, and then other score lines, Frankfurt, they demolished Galatasaray 5-1. Gala, they didn't have Osimhen though. And then Club Bruges, I thought this would be a close one, but they demolished Monaco 4-1.
yeah, I was surprised by that one too.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
still,
sorry,
we're
sorry,
still
sorry.
waiting for the Pogba return.
Yeah, I think they said October.
Yeah, once he
Um,
gets match fitness, yeah.
Crazy storyline also was on the uh, Tuesday match. Benfica blew a 2-0 lead to Korabag, and right after that game, Bruno Large got sacked, and Jose Mourinho returned to the team he first managed.
Oh yeah, epic, insane. The return of Jose, the special one. You
This
got to
was
have him in the
this was
Champions
crazy.
League.
This was 3 days of Champions League. I just deeped it. Usually it's only Tuesday, Wednesday. That was weird.
I like the 3 days, but yeah, they just did that for the first week.
Oh, as like a test.
Yeah, they're reverting back to the.
Ah, lame.
Yeah, I did like the 3 games though, or 3 days
Mhm.
of games.
Oh yeah, I did too.
But now we can move into the top uh, 8 predictions.
Can we do a top eight and then like a sleeper pick that's like maybe not in your top eight?
Yeah, we can do
Okay,
that.
sweet.
All right. From you, who do you have as your eighth spot?
Eighth, I have Manchester City.
Ooh.
I think they have a fairly like favorable run of games and just like a few where I think they might drop points.
Mm. Yeah, for me, I think City, I don't know, there's still a lot of question marks, and I think they might be one of the English teams that actually don't even make top eight for me.
Mm.
So for eight, for me is I'm going with Spurs. And the reason I'm going with them is just their fixture list is pretty easy aside from,
Yeah, I was surprised you have them that low.
oh, you have them higher?
Oh yeah,
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I have them as eighth. Where do you have Tottenham on yours?
fourth.
Oh wow, you have them high up.
Dude, they got an easy run. And the hardest, like honestly, the hardest team I think was Villarreal, which they beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rest of their
What?
game should be barbecue chicken, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Okay,
got
so you got
lucky.
Spurs. Okay, who do you have as? Yeah, they did get mad lucky. They're basically playing Europa League. Who do you have as your seventh spot?
I got you guys over there.
Okay, I have a surprise pick as seven. And this might be my dark horse team, I guess.
Which league? Let me take a guess.
La Liga.
La Liga, Dark Horse, Villarreal,
Nah,
Athletic Club.
nah.
Oh, who? Madrid? That's not a Dark Horse. I don't know. Atletico Madrid?
Yeah,
Ah, especially because they're kind of like out of the race for, I mean, early days, but
Er,
yeah.
yeah, and they put up a pretty good fight against Liverpool, to be honest. And they have Arsenal, but other than that, their fixture list, I'm expecting them to do pretty well. I think Inter, they can grab a point. Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, PSV, Union, and Galatasaray.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's really just Liverpool and Arsenal, or Liverpool they lost, and then yeah, just yeah. Frankfurt, I feel like is decent. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been convinced by them by La Liga standards.
Mm,
Yeah, seventh spot I had you guys. I think you guys have a pretty like just you guys took the L versus Bayern, and then we'll take the L versus Barca. But I think the other ones you guys should grab points. But I think you might drop one here or there just because of like fatigue from the Premier League. But overall, I think you guys should move on.
yeah, for me, I had Chelsea at sixth, too.
Okay.
I think we should be able to do well in the Champions League, and I think even once we get to the knockout phase, I do think we'll make a run for it this year.
Yeah, sixth spot I have Real Madrid. I
Okay.
wasn't fully sold based on their first game, but I still think they're good enough to move on. But I don't think they'll go like perfectly undefeated run in the group phase.
Yeah, for me, I have Napoli as my. Oh, so you had six. You had
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Okay, who'd you have for fifth?
For fifth place, I had Gunners, Arsenal.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So Madrid, I had Madrid outside my top eight again.
They have a tough
Yeah,
yeah, tough
fixtures,
fixtures.
and like Marseille was one where you got to be convincingly getting a win, and they struggled. So yeah, I had them outside, but Gunners, Arsenal at fifth. I have Arsenal win being the top of the table.
I think they got tricky matchups, and I feel like they're gonna be a team where like they might be fatigued just because they have to push for the Prem also.
I just like their depth though this year,
I don't
especially
know.
against some of these lower teams that they play.
You really think they got like crazy depth? I don't know.
Well, compared to like Olympiacos, Slavia Prague,
True to their standard. Yeah.
Athletic Club, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I have Arsenal finishing outside the top four, but still the eight teams to go on.
Mm. All right, so my fifth team, I have this might be a sleeper team as well, but I got Juventus.
Yeah, that one I was questioning. I had them originally, but I don't think so. Just it's not attainable, like playing the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think their fixture again, a lot of my thinking was like just looking at the fixtures, like who has like the easiest fixtures, I think. For me, I think Juve have a lot of games that they should be getting a win. I think Dortmund were probably one of their toughest games.
I was on the opposite. I thought it was just because of how they've kind of started their season at Serie A. It's like I didn't think it was attainable, and then looking at the fixture list, I thought they were maybe one of the teams on pot two that had the more trickier matchups
Mm.
for sure. Interesting pick. Dang, you got two
Sleeper.
sleepers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Atletico is definitely my sleeper though,
Mm,
for sure.
dang. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do like top eight and then one sleeper because I was like, my top eight's kind of all just like business as usual teams, I think.
Mm. Who's your fourth spot?
Yeah, so this one I touched on was the Tottenham.
Tottenham. Okay. My fourth spot is who did I have? I had yeah, this one was also a possible sleeper, but I went with Napoli. I think this is the year that Conte, he's always had he's not seen as like that Champions League type manager,
Oh,
but
he's trash at Champions League.
I think this is the one year where he's gonna turn it around. Have Kevin De Bruyne Champions League experience. I think that Napoli have some depth now. And again,
Interesting.
their pot, I think their fixtures, I think they have it kind of easy too.
Yeah, I guess it's unfair way I judged them was just purely off Conte's historical
Hmm.
uh, managerial job as managerial job in Champions League. So I didn't have him in the top eight.
All right. We're on three now?
Yes, sir.
Oh wait, no. Um no, I had Napoli at first, but I forgot there was another team.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, I messed up here. Okay, my fourth team was actually uh Liverpool.
Oh.
Yeah, Napoli were not in my top eight. I thought
Mm.
about it, but I had moved them out. So I had Liverpool
Oh, okay.
because I think they're just I feel like they've gotten lucky this year in a lot of their games, and I think they're just still trying to figure it out. So I think for them,
Hmm.
they're gonna be I think there's gonna be games where they kind of drop some points. And the ones I'm looking at is I think Madrid and Atletico, I think might give them some issues. Or they just played Atletico, but who do they play?
Marseille?
Marseille, yeah.
Gotcha. Marseille boys. Um, so that was your fourth. Who is your, yeah, that's a surprising one. Who is your third?
That one I had um Barca,
Ah, we were so close. I had Bayern.
Bayern. They were my second.
Okay. Barca were my second.
Yeah, I think Bayern and Barca, they both have like one of the most lethal attacks in
Yeah,
the world.
scary. Yeah. Um, and then Yeah, Bayern Munich. I thought Barca just had an easier fixture than Bayern, so I just had uh, Barca slightly higher. And then who was your number one?
Arsenal.
Oh, that's right. And then mine was Liverpool.
Mm.
Um,
So we both didn't have PSG in our top eight.
mm-mm.
Dang.
I mean, I think they'll ultimately get to like the knockout phase, but
Hmm.
top eight, they have a tough run. They got
Yeah.
they got really unlucky with their draw.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so you had a few sleepers. So do you have another? If you could pick another sleeper, would you have one that's not in your top eight?
Uh, I don't think so. Yeah, my sleeper would just be Atletico then.
Atletico. Okay. Yeah, that's a crazy pick. Um,
Top eight.
yeah, to be top eight. I'm gonna say my sleeper is going to be uh I think Newcastle might be a sleeper. I know they took a L to Barca, but I think really their only other tough matchup is Barcelona. Maybe Athletic Club in Marseille, but those are you can get point here and there.
So when you say top eight or sleeper, you're saying like they could potentially fight for top eight?
Yeah.
Hmm. I could see that with Newcastle potentially. I think, let's see, I'm just looking at the teams again. Mm, not really, no.
I think Newcastle got the easiest run of fixtures from the pot four for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Monaco got kind of shafted. They got a tough run of games,
Hmm.
but I kind of want to see Pogba back
Oh yeah.
Champions League stage. Uh, yeah, I don't really have another sleeper, I guess.
Hope the Marseille boys make a run, but they kind of have a tough fish.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, one team I wanted to look out for because, but they got obliterated was Galatasaray. Uh, just because like Osimhen, I think he's still like one of the best out there, even though he's playing in Turkey. And like Galatasaray, their form in Turkey's crazy.
Hmm.
So they were one where I was like considering maybe making it, but nah.
Yeah, both them and Benfica have a tough run of games.
Hmm. So I think that's all for the Champions League roundup. Did you have any other points or games you wanted to touch on or
Uh, let's see. No, I don't think so.
cool? Unfortunately, I think Champions League is taking a slight break because this coming week is kind of the same thing where it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday fixtures, but it is Europa League. So
Hmm.
I think that wraps it up for the Champions League episode. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next time to talk more footy, highlight game-changing super subs, drop takes hotter than a derby day. If you enjoyed the chat, make sure to subscribe, drop us a rating, and share the pod with friends and family. But until then, keep the football chatter alive, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.